Samoa, ia mua mua, lea tua, I mea uma, Samoa, ia tau tuana,
We just cut this short. Welcome everybody back to the show. This is DavidMeni, the Samoan Watchman. Hope you're doing well. And man, I was had a blessed day. Taking care of homeschooling. I went well. And I was able to hop into a couple chats for other people going live. I was able to be on Brian Staley's show for a little bit. So thanks for having me on, Brian. And Steve and Ron, hope you guys are doing well. Hey, what's up, Chadwick? So I had a lot that I wanted to cover, but a lot of things got in the way, and I wasn't able to go live earlier like I meant to. So I'm gonna go ahead and just present some stuff early. Well, I'm gonna have to break it up. I'm gonna do a little bit today and hop right off. Uh, damn it, I did it again. I went to record and freaking went live. Freaking StreamYard, man. I don't know. Hey, welcome, Latina. Today, uh, damn, I remember there's just some other people going on right now too. I'm gonna make it quick. So, I today I real well yesterday I realized that there are some weird stuff going on with this guy. Let's see. There you go, Jimmy Swaggart. And I don't know, I might be wrong on some of this stuff, but I think I got some Mandela. For those of you that believe in Mandela effect, there are things that have been changing throughout the times and stuff that's people are misremembering things, or maybe we are remembering the right way, and maybe someone else is changing stuff around here. Yeah, exactly, right. Mandela effects. It is kind of creepy. It is weird, especially when you have personal Mandela effects, which I've had in my family. Meaning, like, there's stuff that I remember a certain way, and then things happen, and everybody kind of forgot about it or changed their memory on certain things. And these are big things, like he does look like the blobfish. Uh, that blob, yeah, that's a weird looking creature, man. So, the Mandela effect, I didn't think much of it until my dad passed away, and that's when I had my first major um, personal Mandela effect. Hey, I bring it, and so I bring it every day. Some of you guys might know Jimmy Swaggart, right? So it was weird. So it started with the searching of a song. Uh, my wife and I, we lead the worship team at church, and I was preparing, you know, uh, the list of songs that we're going to go through for the service, and I picked a pretty a pretty recent song. It's called "I Speak Jesus," and I only know the modern version of it. There's only modern versions of it. It's a new song. But what I was looking for, I was like, let me listen to a live version of this song. And I saw that Sun Broadcasting Network was singing this song. And that's strange to me because Sun Broadcasting Network is Jimmy Swaggart's channel, who's a old school gospel guy. I grew up with this guy uh, singing all the hymns that he sings. Our church sang all the old Jimmy Swaggart songs and Andre Crouch songs, and I'm well versed on the older stuff. I love the old gospel music as opposed to the newer stuff. The newer stuff I don't get. I really don't. But the old gospel music, I love that stuff. I'd rather listen to that and play that in church compared to any of this new stuff. New stuff is kind of whack. Let's see. For just that, I was watching a movie the other day, and something was changed in the flick. Okay, everyone I've talked to said they remember it the same way too, and so does the whole internet. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that happens like in movies. What's a good one? Back to the Future. When they were getting shot at in the parking lot of the mall. By the way, I live by the mall, Twin Pines Mall. It's right down the street from my house. Is actually the Pointy Hills Mall um, in Rowland Heights, and everybody remembers the old brown Toyota Previa, right? The old school one. It's kind of looks like the Cybertruck, but brown, metallic brown. Everybody remembers that. But now, if you watch it today, it's a blue Volkswagen bus, right? So that's cool. I mean, what movie was that, Forge? What movie did that change for you? So this guy right here, Jimmy Swaggart. I grew up watching this guy, listening to this guy, singing all his songs. Standing on holy ground, and a few others. Standing on the ground is the only one that comes to mind right now, but Um, it was weird because I only see them sing the old stuff, right? Moonraker, the James Bond flick. Is that the one with Jaws? I don't know all the James Bond movies uh like that, but is that the Jaws one where the girl's bracelet or braces are no longer there? Let me know. And yeah, I grew up listening to Jimmy. He's one of the big ones, and I could have sworn, like, so I'm looking at the song "I Speak Jesus," and here's his channel, his church, the Sun Broadcast Network, the Sun Broadcast uh, Ministries. One second, she says the girl Dottie smiles at you. Yeah, yeah, the giant dude with the metal mouth. Yep, I remember him because I would always pick him on GoldenEye on 64, right? So metal mouth. She always had braces when she smiled. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Doodle braces ain't that. I want to see. I don't know what it. I don't remember them watching the movie. I've seen clips of it from other people's YouTube channels, but I want to see what she looks like with the braces or without the braces. See if it's noticeable. There's like little things like that that you'll notice in Mandela effects, like the painting, the famous painting of the Scream. Apparently that one has now the dudes like this on the pier, and now he has a. I don't know if it's a he or she has a gold bracelet. It's very noticeable on her hand while she's doing the scream on the pier. So we were throwing chairs in the firehouse. It must have messes up. What? Talking about actual fire? Let's see. I've not seen that movie. If anybody wants to come up to either, it might be a short one, but if anybody wants to come up, I bring it every day. Says I have not seen that movie. Yeah, I remember watching it as a kid, but I don't remember details. My mom was really big into James Bond. Um, but yeah, maybe Kelly can help us out with this one. We all freaked out. Elbow cough. I'm not sure what that means. I heard that there are many versions of the Scream. Yeah, I think he made 5 or 6 different versions, and people are debating on which one was the original. One looks like it was a practice. The black and white one looked like it was he did it after the 1983 or the 1893, whichever one really made it famous. What's up, GTR? How do I donate? Oh man, I don't have I guess I have Cash App. Oh yeah, let me see if I have that. Thank you. Man, first donation. Right on. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember watching the movie because my mom would watch all of them, and then TBS has the Bond specials and all that stuff. I don't know if you have Cash App, bro, but that's how I got Jesus. But yeah, Jimmy Swaggart, man, Jimmy Swaggart. Okay, they're singing the new song, right? I Speak Jesus, and I'm like, that's weird. They um they never see new stuff, but they're always seeing the old stuff. And so I was like, oh, it's because he died, and they changed the stage and they changed the carpet. They changed the whole layout of the church, right? And they even changed the name, right? And I saw the name of the ministry, and it's Sun Life Ministry, SONLIFE. And I'm like, when did they change that? Now, some of you, if you watch Jimmy Swagger, uh, maybe you remember. I remember it being spelled differently. So okay, I'm a big conspiracy theorist, right? There's things that people do that are famous, and I'm like, yeah, it's because he's one of them, right? Like for instance, Jimmy Swagger, I loved him. Grew up watching him. My dad would always have him playing in the living room, always listening to him, right? And then I got irritated because I'm like, dude, why would you name your church SUN like this, Sun Life, Sun Life Broadcasting, right? I'll put it up here, right? Sun Life, and the logo uh was a sun, and then in front of it was a dove, and then in the mouth of the dove was an olive branch, which is another Mandela effect. I don't know if you guys know. I learned this morning from Brian Staveley. I was just on his live earlier today, or before this. The Bible teaches that during the flood, Noah would send out the dove to go and find evidence of land, and kept coming. Oh, the first 2 times went and came back with nothing, and on the third one, the third flight out, the dove went out and came back with an olive branch, which is where the saying comes from, extend an olive branch, right? However, it doesn't say that in the Bible anymore. It does not say olive branch. Now it says olive leaf plucked. Olive leaf plucked. That is totally that's totally different. I have no recollection of that. All my life I've been in church listening to different people preach on that story, and I've never heard of it coming back with a leaf in its mouth. It's always been an olive branch. Now I remember for some reason a raven. I don't know if he sent the raven out before the dove, but that could be the story. But yeah, definitely it was in the Bible Forge, right? So focusing mainly on the King James version. That's the main version that's read, and that's one of the older ones, and that's the one I read my entire life. So it's could be a different from yeah. So sometimes there's different translations like the NIV, ESV, that'll have different wordings of the same passage. But however, there are some Mandela changes where it's all across the board. Every single version, um, words have been changed. I believe this one has been changed to different ones. However, I didn't do my own research on it. Again, this is a new one I got from Brian Staley. But yeah, the olive branch has been changed to an olive leaf plucked, um, as if like saying that it went and plucked the leaf off of a tree. Okay, so that's totally strange to me. This is why we have kept the old books. Okay, so now this, right? Now my mom says the same thing. Whenever I bring it up to her and I'm like, Mom, you gotta check this out. Mom, you gotta check this out. She's like, stop looking at your damn app. She goes, go pick up the book and read the book. Well, here's the thing, it changes. It's really different. Yeah, the NIV is really different from the KJV. So a lot of the changes that we notice in the King James Version is how it's worded in the NIV. So a lot of people will say, well, that's why, because you've heard the NIV version, but really you recall the King James version, and that's why you're mixed up. There are Bible verses that are different, though. Like what is the patience produces character, right? Produces character is no longer there. Patience produces character. It says something else now. I think that one is all across the board. Let's see, not to keep changing. Come on, computer. All right, if you can hear me, my computer's jacked. Not to keep changing the subject, but besides the blobfish, WWF dude looks better. He looks like a wrestler, doesn't he? Yeah, dude looks like brother, brother love. Oh my gosh, brother. I think that's Bruce Pritchard. He just, I think he just got fired. That dude's still going. Right, I might be wrong of whether Bruce Pritchard is brother love. I believe so, but yeah, he's still in there. Anyways, I meant to switch computers to do my stream. Like this computer does good putting things together, but when it goes into a stream, it gets all blocky. Yeah, that's funny. When the when did they change that? That's the thing. These things just who knows if they were definitely within the past few years. Like for instance, I used to preach, and I used to preach on the wine skins. That was one of my favorite ones, right? That you don't put new wine into old wine skins, right? That's one of the parables that Jesus taught, right? And so I remember preaching that back in 2009. And I remember preaching, I had the whole spiel about the wine skins and how, they age. It's skin, right? They age, and you don't put new wine into the old stuff because it's going to break, and then you lose the wine, and it's a total waste, right? And then my last sermon I preached was in 2019, and I believe I have that one on video, and I go to that scripture, right? I forgot which one it was, somewhere Matthew or Luke or something. I go to that scripture, and in front of the church, I'm looking, and we're reading together with the church, and I'm like, what the heck? Like it says bottles in here. Like, it changed to bottles, and I'm like, I don't remember saying bottles. I'm looking up and down for the word wineskin as the congregation is reading with me, and I'm about to preach on the wineskins, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to preach on the wineskins, but yet the Bible verse just says bottle. And at the same Bible from way back, when I first started preaching in 2009. Right. So, people say, oh, well, there's all kinds of versions. The King James version has changed 2,000 times, or I don't know how many times they say they keep updating the translation of the King James version. I'm like, okay, if I have the same book though, then how do you explain that? So somebody brought up, that's why we hold on to the books. Here's the thing: these changes. Now this is where it gets weird. Is not just a physical thing. These are supernatural changes. Okay, it's not just a memory loss. This is all supernatural. It's like it's beyond. How do you explain that? I can't say it's angelic or anything. It's just something that it's beyond the physical realm. Why these things are changing this way? The way my family completely shifted in their favorite. Well, not my family, my parents completely shifted in their favorite colors when my dad passed away, and nobody could remember my dad's favorite color was yellow. That was mind blowing to me, and it was almost upsetting. I was just looking at him like, how do you guys not remember dad's favorite color? Everything was freaking yellow with that guy, and they all had their own story. Like, oh well, dad pulled me aside and he told me he liked this, not yellow. Dad told me his color changed, and to me it was BS. I was like, I can't accept that. Let's see. Um, let's see, what was that? I know the internet has been changing things for years now. Yep, absolutely. He did that. He did a shoot where he's on the outs. I don't remember that. Fortunately, perhaps they did a deep fake to erase the braces. Could be. They would have to go to every copy and erase all that. I don't remember which passage, but there's a verse about slaves that in other versions is servants, and in other versions of different things. Yeah, but the passage takes on a different meaning in each. That's the thing. It's just little subtle differences, but it makes a difference in the end. You know, um, Elites worship the sun like the ancient Egyptians. Corporations and music has absolutely. So see, this is why I was irritated every time I'd go to my dad's house and he'd have the Sun Life Broadcasting Network on because he likes the old songs that we used to sing. And I'm looking at the logo, I'm like, freaking, like, why would you name it Sun? Like SUN, and that was a big turnoff for me. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, Swaggart's one of them. I know he got caught with prostitutes and everything, but I just didn't trust him. You know what I mean? Anybody that makes it that big, I start to lose trust in them. I'm like, I don't know. You had to do things to get up there, but that's just me. Anyway, it went from Sun Life SUN, and now it's changed to SON. And when I look up the old videos, the Sun Life Broadcasting is nowhere to be found. Sun Life Ministries, nowhere to be found. It's all different, right? And so that was a big thing for me. It was a Mandela effect to me. And I noticed this yesterday morning, Sunday morning, as we're getting ready for church. And today I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, do you remember his channel? Because when we first got married, we moved to Huntington Beach. We didn't have cable. We had whatever free channels came in through the old antenna. We still had an antenna in 2009 and no cable. And we would get whatever channels we got. And I was one of them that came in, through the antenna, the digital antenna, right? It was Sun Life Broadcasting Network. And so, yeah, we would have him playing and his programming. And so that's why it stayed, that memory is pretty solid in my mind. Right. And so, yeah, even today, the other thing about Swaggart is for some reason, I remember this dude passing away in 2018. That's another thing with Mandela effect. There's people that passed. The first one was Nelson Mandela. People remembered him passing away. I don't know, 80s, 90s, and then we when then he passed away again, 2009 was it 2011, somewhere around there. But yeah, that's how we first got the first one that was noticed. This first change, supernatural change, and they called it the Mandela effect. Louis Anderson is another one. I remember him passing away, years ago, and apparently he just passed away again, 2021. Now this guy, I remember him passing away when my church was still in the city of Norwalk, which could have been anywhere in the past 3 to 6 years. And I remember someone in our ministry testifying, saying, "Oh, Swaggart died," and she sang a song. My wife thinks I'm confused with what's the other guy that had the Crusades? Gosh, the big guy, man. He had all the big meetings and everything. The guy who was known as the Crusader. Um, he did pass away in 2018, so maybe I could be confused with that. Again, I'm not saying I have this 100%, but this guy, I remember him passing away. Now I want to play this. This video is called. I was looking up videos of his funeral, couldn't find anything, but this video says the life and tragic ending of Jimmy Swaggart. Right, and so I'm like, okay, somebody else remembers that he passed away. They have been updating it to cause chaos. Absolutely, I think it's the devil because the Bible says that no one should take or add to the word of God. Right, I don't think God's going to do it. There's a lot of people that feel that it's God trying to communicate with us. I don't know why he would change his own word. But if it was the devil trying to be an ass, definitely, because the Bible said no one can add or take away from the word of God. And so for the devil to come in here and start changing things around, I mean, he is part of AI, and I think that's quite fitting. I think that to me that makes perfect sense. Leviticus, okay, yeah, I'm gonna look that one. I'm gonna look up for that one too, Forge, and see. Maybe way off though, but the wording completely changes everything. Exactly. There's a few that I covered lately, man. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But I covered a couple of Mandela changes lately, and it's just like little things, little small wordings that it could be one little thing, and it'll just completely change the whole meaning of it. Mega churches, mega sus, absolutely. I don't believe in any of the big churches. Um, I used to be big into TD Jakes. I used to love TD Jakes. And then when they had a a panel on his stage, he wasn't even in the panel, but it was at his church. He was sitting in the second row, and they were debating like, should their community be supporting a Republican Party or a Democratic Party? And he was sitting in the second row, just to be there, a fly on the wall, listening. And when they were talking about the differences between the different parties, and he stood up and he said, "What? I gotta give people my money?" And I was like, wow, okay, that's how it is with the big churches. It's like the church is supposed to be there to be a steward of God's money. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be there to help people. We don't need big governments. We need small governments like churches and other organizations to help out people. That's what they're there for. But to sit there and be like, what? You want me to give my money to the homeless? Like, I don't know what kind of attitude where that comes from, but it's definitely not from God. Let's see, hello, fellow night wolves. I know I was supposed to go to bed a couple hours ago, and then I got caught up in different lives. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna have any time tomorrow, so I might as well just put this up right now. I feel the way about mega churches. Chat. Yep, absolutely. Uh, he didn't pass away to the 2000s. Who you talking about? Mandela. Yeah, I think you're talking about Mandela. Let's see. Independent man, I went to sleep, but I want to sleep. I really want to catch his life. Oh, thank you, Latina. Been waiting for this. I know. I got some more I got to cover. I will cover it the next day, but um, thank you for being here. Let's see. They tried to say he passed away to cause confusion. Yep. Indy, I load the mega church millionaire types. Me too. Um, yeah, that guy, they demonic, straight up demon. When he almost bit that girl's head off for asking him about the jet. And I feel bad because these are like, they're supposed to be godly people. They're supposed to be representing of the church. And I was taught to represent to respect those, men of the cloth and people that have that position. However, we got to be careful of the wolves, got to be careful of wolves. It's real. Berenstein Bears, absolutely. I have some Mandela effect residue on that one with The Office. Oscar from The Office gave it away when he named his team Queerstein, because he's a gay man and he went to a trivia bar to do a trivia competition and he named his team Queerstein, spelled queer Stein, right? So not Stain, and he's supposed to be a trivia master. So there's that. Let's see. Yep, absolutely. So let me play the end. So this guy pretty much did like a little tribute to Swaggart, his beginning and how he got a talent of the piano, and he asked God to give him a talent piano, and if he got that talent, that he would never use it for worldly purposes, but to play only for the church, and he honored it. Also talked about his um, situation in '91 when he was caught for the second time with a prostitute in Indio, California. So they go through all that and how he started his Sun Broadcasting Network. And is this thing gonna play? It ends in a weird way, you know, as he's explaining. Come on, computer. As he's explaining, he gets, he's doing a 6 minute video.
When his career was
There you go.
flourishing, he suddenly got involved in the accusation. Swaggart publicly accused fellow televangelist Jim Bakker of immoral sexual behavior. This denunciation, which some saw as a move
Try to speed this thing up.
by Swaggart to take over Bakker's empire, precipitated a closer look at Swaggart's own Norman. The parties later settled out of court for $1.85 million. After those scandals, Swaggart turned control of Jimmy Swaggart Ministries, Inc., over to his son, Donnie. Swaggart made a comeback in 1995 with the launching of the Sun Life radio network on national radio stations and later internationally on the Internet. His ministry through a monthly magazine, The Evangelist, and through an interdenominational church known as the Family Worship Center of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, continued into the 21st century. In 2009, Jimmy Swaggart Ministries launched the Sun Life Broadcasting Network, an international Christian television network to air both live and pre-recorded programs. Probably, right now is his worst time when his health is slowly deteriorating. Thank you for listening to the story about the life of Jimmy Swaggart. Like and comment on your...
Now, to me, it sounds like the audio was chopped up. Like
Swaggart Ministries
he continues
launched
he
the
continues to say something after this, but that was muted for some reason and chopped up.
Sun Life Broadcasting Network, an international Christian television network to air both live and pre-recorded programs. Probably, right now is his worst time when his health is slowly deteriorating. Thank you for listening to the story about the life of Jimmy Swaggart. Like and comment.
Yeah, it did make sense to me that he would make a video of the ending of Jimmy Swaggart. There was a couple of the others that talked about his death, but didn't share nothing. The title's still there. However, the video is nothing that like it would. It doesn't show anything that you would think you would see when looking at the title, and I thought that was weird. Now I want to share this screenshot. Here's the supernatural changes that happens in the books of the Bible. Is this is what's weirding me out right now because the computer did some weird stuff. Now I mentioned my computer is older. It's not even that old. It's just running slow, but it's doing weird stuff now. When I first started doing some research this afternoon, thinking I'm going to go live tonight and um talk about some of this stuff, right? I get some weird stuff going on. So let me see. I do some screenshots of my Google searches. I googled Jimmy Swaggart's death, and this is what pops up. Any minute now, computer. Let's see. Jimmy Swaggart, right? Jimmy Swaggart. I searched Jimmy Swaggart's death, and it says Jimmy Swaggart family. Now, here's the thing: when I don't know, I sound like I'm crazy, but when I first Googled this, it said Jimmy Swaggart died 2015. Okay, and and I screenshotted that right away because I was noticing something that it was giving information as if he didn't die. And again, in my mind, he's already been dead since 2017, 2018. Okay. Again, I might be wrong, but that's the memory I have. I'm looking at screens like this. We're showing his birth date and he's age 87. I'm looking for the death. Nothing. I was like, wait a minute, is this dude still alive? I Googled Jimmy Swaggart death. It showed me Jimmy Swaggart died in 2015. An hour later, I go back to the screenshot because I'm now that I'm going through the evidence, I find videos of him still singing 2022 at his church, right? And I'm freaking out. I'm like thinking I saw ghosts. I'm like, okay, this dude's still alive. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. So I was like, wait a minute. I just got a screenshot of him saying that he died in 2015. I go back, and now this thing has changed, a supernatural change, just like it does in the Bible. Call me crazy. I don't know. This is weird stuff. So then, as I'm looking at it, right, I'm looking at this screen right here where it says now it says Jimmy Swaggart is the nephew of Arilla Wells, who was born 1916 and died 2015. I'm like, the hell, like, did I read this? Maybe I read this wrong. Am I wrong in this? And right, and I was like, I'm tripping out. Then my computer does something weird. It switches to this black or grayish screen that says there's nothing else to see here. If you don't know, Satan is in artificial intelligence. You're behind, okay? Because I've done multiple examples of how the internet shows me things based on my thoughts and has sometimes played video clips as if it was someone speaking to me, and there was always the first two sentences that's like, kind of taunting me, someone who's interested in exposing the enemy, and it's been ongoing. If you don't believe me, go back to my other videos and I'll show you the evidence, right? Artificial intelligence and spiritual warfare is a big thing. Spiritual warfare is real. Gosh, I hope I still have the Bible verse on here. But the Bible tells us, that we are not fighting a carnal war here, but it is spiritual. And it talks about casting down those strongholds, and it talks about casting down those imaginations. It talks about, and it mentions warfare, and it's letting us know that we need to take to these spiritual entities and be strong in that in order to combat it, right? And so let's see. We have some people here. Queer coding cartoons. Okay. Definitely I see some of that. Calling his parishioners demons. How did they get Stephen Hawking to narrate that? Exactly. That was just a puppet. Human puppet. The Samoan Watchman is, yeah, exactly. It starts to show Arilla Wells. And I'm telling you, that's not what I saw. That's not what I saw earlier. And again, there's a lot of people that are going to be turned off by that and be like, "Oh well, you just maybe you just saw that wrong," But again, the evidence has been there of supernatural beings, entities, communicating with people, and there's been a lot of people that are big in the truther community that are trying to shoot that down, but yet, they still believe in God. I'm like, if you believe in God, you believe in supernatural entities. You believe in these powers, these strongholds. It's all there, right? But then, what are we saying that it can exist back in the Bible days and it can't exist today? There's a lot of people that are, saying that this can't happen. There's no such thing as artificial intelligence that is, you know, reading your minds and showing you things based on your thoughts. Again, like I'm in agreement with Brian Staley on that. Like we can't not count the supernatural view of things. Demons are freaking. They're all about taunting us, and this is an electronic age, and for the devil to replicate God, which is what he tries to do all the time, is mock God, try to be like him. He can't be everywhere at once. So how can he do that, right? And that's through technology. That's through the internet. These radio frequencies. See, all right, brother. Take care, man. Medical call. Damn. 2 hit in the shooting. Take care, brother. Yeah, be safe out there. So, love you too, man. I'm gonna cover a couple. Oh, this is another thing too. This is a big change that's happened in his church. In his church, you'll see these. You won't see these anymore. But back in the day, this is what it was like. The Sun Life Ministries. They look like crosses, but they're not really. They're like trees or something. But today they changed that to the cross, and that was one of the changes I've noticed with him. Also, the LED screens. He went completely different since what I remember his death being. Um, Before it was all this old school stuff. It was never this new age stuff. And now we have the big LED screens in the back, which is a big trend we're seeing in the churches. Now, let's see. I covered Time magazine before. I'm gonna go through a couple just things that I noticed in old covers of the Time magazine. The War Electricity. Now, this one right here, I don't know. A lot of people think that Tesla knew a lot of stuff and got killed. A lot of people say he was crazy, and that he was a plant. I think it's one of those things, just another divisive thing. Now, this one right here, I see DEWs. Climate is everything. Of course, climate is a big fake agenda that's being pushed, right? Climate is everything. How the pandemic came to lead us to a better, greener world, right? By Time Magazine. Uh, if you don't see what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing DEWs, right? Like the Paradise Fire, okay? Planned planned events, right? That are meant to, get people into a panic, right? But really it's all by design. The destruction of this world to get us to, corralled up into this, this fear, into this panic mode, and get people into believing stupid things like overpopulation, that we're running out of oil, running out of food, and that we need to get the numbers down. That's all design. DEWs are a crazy thing. I want to study more of it. I felt it before. And one of the fires very close to here a couple of years ago. I felt the energy at night. It was crazy. Um, have you seen the new Netflix documentary about Mentai? I haven't seen it. My family's seen it. They're all telling me to watch it. I don't watch Netflix. There's a lot of, I don't know. I just don't spend money on Netflix. But yeah, I'm interested in watching that. Uh, we have family that were um, involved with that guy. The catfished Manti Teo, but it's a sad story. I think it really hurt his career. But yeah, I want to get into that. Welcome, Stan Anderson. I don't think I believe I've seen you before, but yeah, big time agenda. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm interested in. Okay, now I got to see that. Put the pieces together, man. So definitely, this is planned events DEW. I've also met an older gentleman. He might be watching right now, or I mean, he might watch this later. An old veteran who he calls himself the Warhammer, and he claims to have designed a lot of stuff, and this is one of them. Some big topics in the truther community. He claims to be a part of it, and this dude's like super old, barely walk. And I would love to get my interview with him published. But I gotta get a hold of him again and get that permission. So before we put that out there, but yeah, he shared with me some crazy information about projects that he has designed and developed. Um, harp being one of them, if you know what that is. But yeah, pretty crazy. Let's see, the Great American Downgrade, right? Here goes Mr. Washington, right? Old Freemason. And of course they're gonna have, you know, something around the eye to bring attention to the eye. They always want to you know, highlight just, that area, right? And one thing I noticed here too is this fly, you know, and it got me thinking about the old debates that we'll see on TV about the who's going to be the new leader of this country. There's certain words I'm trying not to say, but I remember Mike Pence. He had the fly in his hair. Hillary had the fly, and so did Mr. Brandon. Let's go Brandon. He also had the fly on his head. And it was weird. It was always during one of those debates, right? And so I don't know why did they put this fly on this dude's face. I have no idea, but it's there. Right? Time magazine, y'all. let's see, what year was this? 2011. All right, so 5 years before, the big interest in politics, you know, uh, the big wave of interest of politics in this country. Let's see, Time to Go. I don't know why I had that one. This may be one of the best cover. Okay, I don't know why I put that one on there. Nothing really big to see. See what has changed and what hasn't, what isn't. To 1968, 2015, absolutely. And this is a wake up call to people. It's the same story. It's the same story, man. They're just gonna keep pulling the same cards, same things to wake people, to get people upset. It's always a left and right paradigm to make you and your brothers upset at each other, make you and your neighbors argue amongst each other, make it awkward at the birthday party. I've been through it all because I decided to voice my opinion on politics, and I try not to anymore. Things happen, and I just let it go. I'm just like, okay, it's just another cog in the wheel of confusion and um, diversion, try to divide this company and distract people from what really matters. You know what I'm saying? I think the more we argue about this kind of stuff, we tend to lose sight of what really matters. And to me, that's Yah, that's God way, that's the word of God, and just being loving to one another. Yeah. Now this one right here. See, why did I put this one here? I'm trying to see. I got a bunch of stuff on my computer that I need to get rid of, and so I'm like, okay, I need to present some of this stuff and get it off my computer. Let's see, flat out. There's a reason why this is all Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs and Disney. Bill, thank you for the words. And okay, there you go. Giving homage to Bill Gates. There goes the lightning bolt. Usually it's pointing downwards because they love the lightning bolt, the zigzag lightning bolt, because it's representative of when Satan fell from heaven, right? There's the apple from when he deceived us from Adam and Eve. There's the Hova sign, kind of a deflated version of it. See what's next. What else? What else did I get from this? I can't remember. There was something about this one. Flat out cool. Steve Jobs thinks he has seen the future again. Apple's new iMac. Not sure. Let's see. This one, self-explanatory. There's that weird guy, right? And I didn't see anything too crazy over here, but he's been in so many covers. So many covers, this guy. Um, Walt Disney, The Enchanted Worlds of on Electronic Wings. Okay, that was what it was. Enchanted. So, gotta for those of you who don't understand, who still have their children watching Disney, you gotta wean your children off of that stuff, or at least have them aware. Like my children still watch stuff, but they know what I feel about it. They know what I think about it, and they know when they're watching something that I wouldn't approve of it. And so that right there is enough to have them self-aware. They know when they're watching magic and that's something that's going to make me mad at them, right? And exactly, Enchanted, right, is the magical kingdom, right? There's the new one of the newer movies, Encanto, right? It's everything in that thing is magic. I mean, they can't just do like a regular story that doesn't have anything to do with magic, that doesn't have like a regular kid going through stuff and you know overcoming situations without magic. It's always involved, right? 5 a.m. back to sleep. Thanks for stopping by, Singe Man. Good to see you here, brother. Right. And so on electronic wings. Now that's a big one because everything is on these electronic frequencies now. It's definitely been amped up, right? And there's D23, right? So 23 is a big number for them. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm hearing like weird stuff outside. Here's another one. I don't know who these guys are. Lerner and Lowe. I'm not familiar, but this is an older cover in 1960. and these chairs, these thrones they're sitting in. This reminds me of, and I know the lion means something too, but this reminds me of um, some of the footage that was leaked from the Masons in their church when they had like the girl dancing like almost like a stripper inside their supposed worship center, right? And I don't know who these two are, but they definitely have the feminine features, right? Especially this guy, and this is the those what do you call it? These are the thrones or big chairs that they were sitting on. The three men that I saw in that video that was leaked of the Masons, they were sitting in chairs like this. So there they go, featuring right before our eyes. Space Invaders, big time space they're pushing right now. And the insects. The insects is another thing. Bugs have become weaponized. You know, they've definitely become weaponized, and also they're pushing it as a food right now. They're saying beef is bad. Get off the beef. They want to get you on impossible meats, which is all bad. It's all filled with hormones. And why is this comment still staying on the screen? Come on, let me do this. I'm not sure why it's still up there, but um, yeah, they're pushing insects, bugs as a food now. Recently, I was in Las Vegas in the 7-Eleven. I went over there to get some drink and ice and stuff, and they have these. I don't know, they're freeze dried or just dried insects. It says eatable bugs, and they have these weird beetles. They're like dry and brown, and they have some spices on them. And it says you can, they're selling them in these little packs with, real food packaging with nutritional facts and everything. Or it's no longer nutritional facts. That's a Mandela effect. Now it says nutrition info, and it says yeah, they were saying bugs you can eat, and they're selling it as a food, and that's a big thing that they're pushing right now. If you notice, there's a lot of segments of celebrities coming onto talk shows and talking about larvae that they're eating and these I forgot what kind of worms they are that they're making powder out of that you can put into your coffee and other drinks. Weird stuff. We're not supposed to be eating this stuff. I mean, I know they ate locusts and stuff in the Bible, but yeah, they look like Broadway musical people, huh? Don't they? You're right about that. But yeah, they're pushing bugs. So big time. Here they come again in our magazine. Now this guy's straight puppet. I don't even like covering him because there's a lot of fights in our family because of this guy. And he was just a puppet. I'm sad to say. I love my family who are African American. I just think that they fell for a lot of the anger, button pushing that was in the media trying to make people angry. Now this one was interesting to me. For those of you, I never cover the September events of 2001. But I remember, I don't believe anything crashed into the buildings. I don't, and if a plane did, it wouldn't have it wouldn't have happened the way that it did, right? All the scraps and stuff that they claim they found on the floor. I worked at airports for many years. All right, this right here is a picture that was posted on Twitter. It was one of my friends on Twitter posted this and said, "You've been lied to if you think that these planes have flown through those buildings." Look at this telephone pole ripped right through the wing. Let me tell you something. The bodies of these aircrafts are so fragile, super fragile. I used to work in cargo, so we would ship things in the aft and in the bulk, which is way back here. This is the aft hold and the forward hold in front of this wing. There are three compartments where we load cargo. All right, and so that my job was to register all this stuff, get the weights and dimensions and everything, and report it to customs. And some planes, like this is a cargo plane. There's no windows up here. So this is a full cargo airplane. Um, we'd load the main load, right, as well, with giant pallets, and so from front to back, all cargo. So we're talking shipments to China, big companies that we ship back and forth through, like Lufthansa, so Germany, Swiss Airlines, a lot of the Asian airlines, Japan Airlines, Singapore, Malaysia. Those are the big ones, right? Especially China Eastern, China Cargo, China Southern. I worked all of them, right? And I could tell you these, when we load these airplanes, I don't know, 100 to $150,000 of 150,000 pounds of weight of cargo. These planes are super fragile. So the main frame of it is pretty solid, but all the body parts, as you can see here, very fragile. Okay, this telephone pole ripped right through it. Okay, it probably stopped right there, but I'll give you an example. So here's the truck right here, but we usually have these tugs on the thing on the AOA, right, on the grounds, and these tugs will pull these airplanes pretty slowly. And a friend of mine, she was the driver for these airplanes. She would drive the airplane out so far onto the taxiway, let it go, and then it would taxi its way down to the starting point of the takeoff on its own. But this is the engine right here. This is the sort of the muffler, this exhaust. Right. By the way, the engines never used to stick forward this much. This is also a Mandela effect. They used to be back a little bit more underneath the wing, mostly. Especially all this would be right here. Okay, because it would bring air to create lift. Now, this body, if you can see the tan color, this is all the body of the engine, the casing of the engine. This is so fragile. Okay, like if I punched it, I'd it would spider web for sure. And what my friend did was she was taxiing the airplane out, and there was a pallet here on wheels, and it had a container on it made of aluminum, and she brushed against it, and it completely shattered that Rolls Royce engine. And so that's how fragile that is. She was going like what 5-10 miles an hour, and it just completely crushed the casing of this engine. I wish I had another picture to show you. But well down here, it just completely took a big hole, right? Going 5 miles an hour, big hole out of here. So yeah, these things, if they crashed into the building, they would have been flattened. There really is no power behind it. I mean, uh, not enough to get into that kind of a building. I'm just saying. But yes, definitely in agreement with that statement. Whoever posted this on Twitter, saying that if you believe that these things crash into those buildings the way that it did, then you're being lied to. Again, I think I covered this one. AI is definitely strange. I believe it's satanic. The devil is definitely in the internet and affecting people. Um, here's what happens with what do you call it? Autocorrect. I once texted my mom a couple weeks ago. I said that I was trying to put thank you, mom. Right? Hey Andy, thanks for being here. I was trying to text my mom, hey, thanks, mom. And I don't know if you can picture doing the swipe with your finger on your keypad on your phone, mom. There's no way that you should be able to get the word bitch. And my phone put thanks, bitch, to my mom. And I was like, what the heck, man? I was like, why would it say that? And I was so pissed off, and I was like, freaking AI technology, man, trying to mess with me. That's how I know that there's something behind it. I typed in I typed in this on a comment on YouTube. I was watching here, Brian Stavely. All right. I was in a live chat, and here's me, right? And I was trying to put trust your eyes. Right. I was trying to put trust your eyes. Think about it. EYES. And the autocorrect put routers. Trust your routers. Come on now. Trust your routers. Like I know we use them, right? I know we need them to do internet stuff, to do school. I do my schooling. I homeschool on the internet, so we use the internet. I mean, that's just the world we live in. We don't have a choice. But yeah, trust the routers from Trust Your Eyes. Like, come on. This is not the first time. Um, and shoot, I wish I had it. Let me see. Do I have my belt on? Okay, here's more Time magazine. Who's this, guys? Can anybody tell me who this is? That's Beyonce, right? Maybe. And she's got this Egypt. Oh, not Egyptian. This is a totem couples, right? Supermodels, Beauty and the Bucks. I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe that's not Beyonce, but it's 1991. So I don't know if she was modeling. Maybe there's some other model who looks like her. But I'm like, that's Beyonce. Then I looked at the cover and I'm like, what the hell? That's 1991. That can't be her. And she wasn't a supermodel, was she? This has to be someone else. Well, it definitely looks like Beyonce. Maybe that's a nothing. But yeah, definitely looks like her. The next generation of leaders, homosexuals. They're telling you straight up. The feminine spirit, the marine spirit. Look at the marine kingdom. Let's see. Um, I don't watch football anymore. I gave up. I gave up on the NFL. I think it's a bunch of not Beyonce. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, I was just thinking in my head, like, man, I wonder how my old team is doing because I don't watch football anymore. Like, I don't waste time. I don't waste my energy. I don't want to get involved with it. It's too much distraction when I got stuff to do. I was thinking in my head, uh, what's my team up to? And then here goes YouTube showing me this, like, hey, we're having a live right now. Could be coincidence, maybe not. The bath fitter, all right? This is from this morning. There you go. 8:22, right? So I'm over here doing some schoolwork on my computer. My children were done with their schoolwork. I'm just going over some stuff, and they're right here in the backyard playing. And I'm just about to think. I'm thinking in my head. I'm about to yell out to my daughters, "Hey, go take a bath." Um, And then boom, YouTube shows me this commercial of this company called Bath Fitter and how easy it is to go in there and change the bathtub. Because here's the thing, there's some stuff that we need to change on in our bathroom, right? The bathtub's not all that bad, but it's definitely not the newest tub. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to change this. Definitely something that's been on my mind. I didn't look up anything. I didn't search up anything, and that's definitely how they advertisement works and media works. They'll look at stuff that you search and they're like, oh, this guy's interested. He's in the market of getting a new car. We're going to send him some advertisements for used cars for sale. Right. But the moment I'm thinking, I'm going to turn right here, turn my head and tell my daughters, go take a shower, go take a bath. And then boom, YouTube hits me because I always have YouTube playing. What was I watching? Brand new Mandela effects. There you go. I was looking up stuff from Mandela effects. I always have it playing in the background when I'm doing work. And they shoot me a commercial for the bath fitter. You know, interesting. What we can learn. This is just BS. What we can learn from a mouse robot 154 miles away. Okay, this is not happening. All right, this is on Earth somewhere. I don't even know why I mentioned that one. Let's see. Keynes. Now, this is something I don't know if people understand the Keynesian theory. So here they have the century's greatest minds, and I have a financial service business, um, mainly life insurance, but I'm also into investments and everything. And so there's a few licenses that I'm studying for that I need to complete my studying for. And I realized as I'm studying this textbook, they straight out tell you in the financial textbook of getting a securities license, which is your license to invest people's money. They straight up tell you that they inflate and deflate the economy, and it's all artificial. It's all them. There's no depending on a war. There's no depending on what's going on in the market system, trends in whatever's popular, whatever people are buying. That's bullshit. The economy is not inflating and deflating based on trends. It's not inflating and deflating based on, whatever is popular or whatever is in the market, whatever is cheap, whatever is affordable. That's all bullshit. Okay. When we see gas prices going up, it's not because of a war. It's because they want the gas prices to go up. See, there's a theory called the Keynesian theory, right? And they have this man right here. I think it's Robert Keynes. I forgot. Again, I didn't finish studying. I took a break from that studying, but here's Keynes right here listed in one of the top greatest minds. I don't know why he's there. This Carson guy, I don't know who he is. That's obviously Albert Einstein. Jones Salk, I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know him either. But they have Keynes right here. They straight up tell you that if the gas prices is up, it's because they want the gas prices to be up. That's what's in my textbook. I wish I could maybe I could take some screenshots of my books and show you guys. The way they do is they buy securities to free up or decline the money supply within the banks, which raises and deflates the prices of everything. Some people, some of you guys are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, well, duh, yeah, the banks do it," but it's just like you should do it, as a response to regulate pricing, to regulate the prices of that we have to stuff that we got to buy every day, like meat and toilet paper and stuff, and gas and water and food. But we're over here struggling to put gas in the car, and that's a struggle for me because we have 3 trucks. We don't have little cars because I'm not a little guy. Say so. Yeah, definitely, it pisses me off to see a lot of money going to gas and seeing gas prices up over $5 to $6, right? And so it's bullshit. But in our textbooks, I think it's Robert Keynes. Keynes, this fool right here, came up with the idea of why doesn't the government just go ahead and inflate and deflate the economy whenever they want? It's just up to them. Screw a natural economy. Screw the natural economy where if money needs to go here, then we allocate money to there. Because there's a surge in purchasing of this item, then the prices go up. Natural stuff, right? But it is it, which is something I would want. You know what I'm saying? I want a natural economy. You know what I'm saying? A real economy. Not, $6 gas prices just because the government wants it at $6. That's bullshit, right? I mean, we're gonna have poor people struggle on this and this and that, because we decide to. That's not freedom. That's not democracy. That right there is worse than communism. That's just another form of communism. They're just straight up putting us under that stuff. What's up, Steve? Aloha, brother. Yeah, last minute live, man. I just figured let me get this out of the way before I get back into my teachings tomorrow as I'm homeschooling again. Say, oh man, they didn't get a notification. Aloha, everyone. What's up, brother? Don't forget to hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. Hope you're doing well too, man. Hope you're doing. Check out Steve Harloa. Uh, awesome man right there. I don't know if I'm. Let me see. I forget to like moderate people, but yeah, Keynesian, the Keynesian theory. Look it up. It's crazy stuff. Definitely should not be that way. The economy should not be artificial. Should not be determined by a small group of people on what we're going to be paying for beef and everything else. Everything is expensive. I filled up our water bottles today, and it used to be $1. No, it used to freaking heck. It used to be 20 something cents for a gallon of water out of those machines, the water machines. Today we're paying $1.75 for a gallon. That is freaking ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous. That's 5 gallons. My bad, but yeah, it's still dumb. See, how do I look at my own stuff? But yeah, Robert Keynes, look at this guy because definitely is not the way it should be. Damn it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it. Just I'll mod you guys up when I get a chance. This right here sounds nasty. And I don't know who this guy is. I know he's one of the leaders of China. I don't know who this guy is. He's somewhere in I think Malaysia or one of these things. India's lost illusions, or maybe India. Nehru? I don't know. But one of the things that as I was learning truth, this is 1962. Every time they do a picture like this, where it's someone behind another person like this, and you'll see that they do it with animals too. Yeah, it sounds nasty, but it's like bestiality, and like they'll have a person behind a dog, and what they're portraying is bestiality. I don't like talking about that kind of stuff, but it is one of the things that we're not supposed to do according to the Bible. This is my backup channel. Cool, man. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here, brother. I went from Ron and his live, and then started working on some projects, and then I was on the panel with Brian Stabley for a little bit. I called in to present some of this stuff, and then I was like, man, you know what? I need to put a video out before tomorrow because, yeah. And then I ended up going live. So that's how that works. But yeah, every time you see a picture like this, I don't know their relationship. Again, I'm not the biggest guy in history. I wish I did pay more attention in world history. That's to me, that's the most important class that I should have paid attention to in high school. But this right here is a portrayal of homosexual, not homosexuality, right? Now you can say, ah, that's just one guy being another. Like, no, they do this on purpose. Everything they do is for a reason, and I'm just here just picking up the little pieces and, presenting it because everything is a piece to the truth puzzle. Some of us have more than others. Some of us understand more than others. Um, Thanks, man. Appreciate the sub and the like. This right here. Now, I know a lot of people know who he is. Assange and leaking out secrets and stuff. To me, man, this guy right here is straight up. Oh, he's just been used as a puppet. Uh, the flag over the mouth is definitely a sign that you speak when you're spoken to, and you release what you know things when we want you to release them. I know I grew up with the whole thing. I grew up in politics. Well, not grew up in politics. I was into the politics big time, and I was pissed off for this guy. I don't even know is he still locked up? What's going on with him? But this right here is just letting you know that the uh, the 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 long arms of the government are overreaching. Saying they're doing way too much. They got puppets out there, and you don't speak unless you're asked to. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks. It sucks, man, because I want freedom. I'm saying? I want my children to have freedom. I want them to experience that. I want them to know that. And I want, everybody wants that for their life. Who doesn't? And I see my cousin, you know, who lived in China ever since he got married. Him and his wife moved to China. They're not Chinese at all. They moved to China and worked for the Chinese government, and they're teaching. And then when the whole shutdown happened over here, that kept everybody home. They fled this way, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't think you guys were ever gonna leave China. You guys look so happy out there." And they're like, "Nope." There's a lot of forceful things that they're being, that they're given. Zero options. There's one option. It's listen. Their one option is listen. That's it. Do what they say. They came over here and they skipped right over America, went to Mexico. I'm like, I've never known any Samoans that do that, that live there. They go to China, live there unless they're in sports and playing rugby, or yeah, and to just come over here and flee because of politics. Came over here, skipped over America, went straight to Mexico, and that's where they're at, And so I'm like, okay, so this guy's experienced some crazy stuff, but this is what it is, man. This is what it is. We're being silenced, and a lot of it is by our own leadership. It should not be that way. I don't believe in one party over the other anymore, but I do believe in our freedom. I do believe in our rights as citizens, and I don't talk politics very much at all. But I believe that you know I believe that this is straight up turning into uh the corrupt government is just showing its true face now, and so it is what it is. Anyways, I have more screenshots that I'm going to present later, maybe tomorrow, on things that are just showing up as I'm thinking about it. The second I think it shows up on my screen. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it's very subtle. Sometimes I'm not even looking for it, but when I get a chance, I'll take a screenshot. And I was able to share a couple today, as long as also with the Mandela effect. And let's see, I did have where was that thing? Is? There's a few that didn't show up in the presentation today. That's okay. I'll save it for the next one. I got to get to bed, man. We got homeschooling tomorrow again, and I don't know what my schedule is going to look like for the future of this channel. Um, I'm going to be working 4 days, so I have 3 off, but I do have church on one of them. So it looks like I'll only be presenting Sunday nights and Monday nights, and possibly Tuesday. Those are my 3 days off, and we'll see with the new job that's coming. But I'm grateful that I'm going to be working from home and still homeschooling from home and doing everything from home. It's like gardening and all that stuff. But for anybody out there, just do know that this is a channel where we pray for each other and we look out for each other. So if you got a prayer request, drop it in the comment section, and I'll do my best to pray and offer it up to God. And do know that you know the only truth that really matters, no matter what you believe here on this earth, the one truth that matters is that Jesus Christ died for you, that He loves you, that you are saved as long as you accept Him to be your Lord and Savior. And none of this stuff is for worry. A lot of people look at me and are like, "Dude, you're scaring me." People I talk to in real life, they're like, "Man, some of the stuff you talk about is kind of creepy." It's not to scare anybody at all. We're not a fear mongering channel. We acknowledge and identify what the enemy does because we're supposed to. We're watchmen. We got to look out for the rest of the people in this world who don't know jack, right? And are living these sinful lives and living under the deception of the enemy. I don't like to see my brothers and sisters being lied to. I don't like to see my people being lied to, and that's why I do what I do. And I got a lot more stuff coming, man. It's just been one project after another, after another, after another, and I really am dead tired. But I'm just gonna keep pushing, and I want to see I just like to see people being woken up. I got some cool messages on Twitter. People, this does broadcast on Twitter too. And some people on Twitter messaging me saying, "Hey man, thanks for helping me to see this stuff." And that's what it's all about. It's not about fame. It's not about money. It's not about getting rich and being one of those cool YouTube guys, that does this 24/7 and is always posing for a thumbnail and stuff like that. No, that's not what this is about. This is about sharing information to help people wake up to realize truth and realize deception around them, not to scare them, but to help equip them. Because the Bible says to be not ignorant of the devices of our enemy, lest he take advantage of us. I've seen too many people be taken advantage of. I've seen too many people being uh, pushed into living a fearful life because of a certain disease going around that's not really there, or people being afraid of being persecuted for not getting the Jabarooski, and people being they don't want to hurt other people because of the information that they're receiving on mainstream media, which is a bunch of bullshit. And I'm here to call it all out. There's no overpopulation. um yeah, that's better. Plus I'm feeding the algorithm. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you being here, Steve. Well, I'm here to point out the propaganda. I'm just like Lucky. I'm on the same lines of Lucky Haskins. That's one of my heroes that got me started on here. Also, Ceiling Fan Man. Then I met some cool people like Steve Harloa and his wife Nina and Ron. And Ron's not his wife, but Ron is another dude. And everybody else. Indy, thanks for being here. I bring it every day. Thanks for being here. We had some people that stopped by. Singe Man stopped by. Forged Thought, Latina. All right. And I want to say this is Alice. This is a new one. Maybe did you change your name? Alice, if that's you, thanks for being here. Everybody, if you got a prayer request, drop it in the chat or drop it in the comment section. I'll definitely get back to you. If you need to get a hold of me, hit me up in the chat and comment section. I'll send you my email. Definitely can pray for you, and we'll see what we can do to help out. But yeah, I'm out. I'm gonna hit the sack and Tony's Coffee House. Dang, just thanks for joining us, man. We're on our way out right now, but I appreciate you being here. Tony's Coffee House. I'll check you out too, bro. We had some new people too today. Tony's Coffee House is the first time I've seen him, and Stan Anderson. Welcome, welcome to all the new subs. Welcome. I know we went on a weird time. It was a last minute thing, but it is what it is. look out for. I'm gonna make a video and post it tomorrow. And you guys have a blessed day. Have a blessed night. Whatever it is. God bless you. Till next time.